Hey, what's really going on? Bitcoin, crypto, and currency today. We're taking a look at XLM against USDT. We're going to be assessing some of these key technical aspects of price action moving forward. We're looking for some of the pivotal areas of support and resistance I believe we're going to be interacting with in the very near future here. Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you trade? Do you hold? Or do you let the price action unfold? What are you doing with your bag? If you have one, are you bullish on XLM? Do you believe we finally found support? If you've been buying the dips accumulating in the downside, we're going to plow through all of this potential resistance, head straight to that previous 80-cent level we just came from, plow through it, head straight to $1, the multi-dollar, $1 million per XLM. Or were you bearish on price action? Do you believe there's more downside ahead? We're in a bear market. We're going to plow through all the potential buy pressure and support, head straight to zero, negative $5 billion per XLM. Let me know your thoughts on the direction of price action down in the comment section below. Lots going on in the crypto sphere here. Now, jumping right into it. Price action overall looking very bullish in my opinion. We're coming out of a very nice and healthy phase of accumulation and a correction in what appears to be an uptrend still. Price action looking very bullish. Fundamentally, the buy pressure is present, and there definitely is a lot of accumulation going on for XLM, and I do believe a holding pattern is forming with expectations of some higher highs relative to that euphoric 80 cents that we had just recently come from up until that dreaded change of momentum on the kind of 19th of May there that sent everything into this phase of accumulation here. Ultimately, we're coming off of some very key areas of support where we're bouncing off of a very bullish zone that we had interaction with at the beginning of the year, between the beginning of January and February. We kind of have price action consolidating, pretty much experiencing the support and buy pressure around kind of 24 cents all the way down to 20 cents. Also experiencing resistance present around 38 cents. Giving us a hard time through that month of January, but it wasn't until the beginning of February where we were bullish enough to find our way above 38 cents, interact with some higher highs, get 59, 60 cents under our belt, and then only to meet more sell pressure and then return to previous resistance at 38 cents to confirm it as support through the kind of 23rd of February of this year, all the way to the break upward on the 5th of April. So very tight range we were accumulated between kind of above sort of 38 cents with resistance present kind of around like 42 cents. Ultimately finding support, bullish enough to plow through previous resistance, set some higher highs, rinse, repeat, return to support, higher highs, higher low kind of thing. Ultimately looking very bullish up until that dreaded change in momentum that sent us into this correction. So coming out of this correction, we've returned to some very bullish levels of support. The fundamentals, I do believe, are very different. From a technical perspective, we are interacting with that aforementioned resistance at 38 cents. So we'll have to see just how, aggressive these pullbacks will be. We already have kind of one mini retracement here. We have rejection off of 38 cents, sending price action all the way down toward kind of the lowest point there at 32 cents. But I do believe ultimately the key level to consider is potentially 34 cents. In my opinion, that is apparently a zone we are experiencing a lot of buy pressure from. So another rejection from that 38 cent level could send us down toward kind of 34 cents again. Ultimately, can't really be too bearish on price action at the moment, as these pullbacks are getting bought up kind of more and more aggressively as we continue to recover from this downside. So we will kind of just have to see how volatile price action is over the next kind of coming days as we solidify this 38 cent level. Now, if I were to turn on EngineeringRobo, in addition to the Fibba, Lamborghini, Fettuccine lines of zucchinis, we can see price action currently interacting with that range. We have the 0.382 Fibonacci line currently at 32 cents, suggesting some significant buy pressure present, while suggesting 34 cents is a key level to consider. So we do have some some short-term support here. If we were to experience a rejection off of 38 cents, previous rejections off of it sent us all the way down to 24 cents. However, I think we're in a very different state at the moment, and we are more likely to find support above 30 cents, in my opinion, especially with this 0.382 Fibonacci level. Factors contributing to overhead resistance at the moment is going to be my 38 cent line, which is currently just under the 200 daily moving average, which we have experienced a mini rejection off of just kind of a few days ago. That was what sent us kind of plummeting toward that 32-cent level. But ultimately, as I kind of mentioned, the buy pressure is very much present, even though we're in a technical kind of phase of downside and we're coming out of that recovery. And there still is a lot of technical sell pressure present. The overall fundamental demand and buy pressure for cryptocurrency in a whole and XLM is definitely still present and is keeping us bullish through any sort of short-term kind of pullbacks or downside we experience. So ultimately, we also have the 0.5 Fibonacci level at 41 cents contributing to sell pressure overhead kind of thing. So there definitely is a little kind of zone that we will have to build the momentum to plow through, and then we will likely confirm as kind of support moving forward as we continue the uptrend. So ultimately trapped in a tight zone here. My target for a potential pullback from the resistance present is going to be support found kind of between 34 cents and 32 cents. Ultimately, I do believe that is the range where we will likely find support if we start to continue to experience some very short-term downside. Overall, we're looking very bullish. We do have that buy for in play since the 22nd of July. So with EngineeringRobo bullish on price action, through all this downside, we can be even more bullish as these appear to be great times to be accumulating for anticipated future upside. So we'll have to see just how these next kind of daily candles open and close and confirm this kind of 38-cent level. This is going to be very significant moving forward for us. Once it's established as support, we can get very bullish on XLM, but until then, we are currently in a very volatile range. Now, what's going on for XLM against USDT? But if we were to consider now XLM against Bitcoin, what do we have here in new perspective coming into play? In my opinion, a tad more bullish. In fact, we do have price action coming off of a very key area of support. We have interaction with this range, I do believe, between the 0.236 Fibonacci level there, 658 Satoshi as very significant support, as in addition to a little bit of resistance found at the 751 Satoshi level. We have price action kind of between the 10th of March all the way to the 4th of April of this year, consolidating within that range, and then finding the bullishness to get above it and get us from that resistance at 750 Satoshi all the way up to interactions with kind of 1565 Satoshi. So very bullish support at this range, and a lot of momentum and a lot of potential upside coming from this zone that we are currently interacting with. In my opinion, if we consider now price action from the kind of 21st of June here all the way till today, we have the resistance from the 0.382 line, kind of sending price action into this sort of area of support here. Interaction with my 750 Satoshi level, interaction with the 0.236 level. We have the buy fours trying to come in. We had a buy four, sell four swap. So there was a lot of indecision in the market for a while here. But overall, this is an area of support that I have been bullish kind of on all throughout this kind of sideways through these levels. Even now, we have this buy four in play since the 13th of August. We have this break upward through 750 Satoshi. A little bit of a rejection off of the 0.382, but I'd like to point out a very technical higher high relative to a previous swing here. The 16th of August candle has a high of 864 Satoshi, which is more than the 23rd of July candle, which has a high of 861 Satoshi. So, technical analysis, these kind of minor differences may not seem significant, although they are kind of what makes the difference between bullish or bearish price action. In my opinion, that is, we are looking kind of far more bullish as we have broken through previous resistance. We are coming back down to it as support. The longer we hold 751 Satoshi as support, kind of the more bullish we can be at this level. We will have to conquer the 0.382 resistance line, in addition to the underside of this 200 daily moving average, and then compared to previous price action, we will likely break it and then return to it, in my opinion. So I do suspect kind of a similar sort of pattern to unfold once we kind of conquer this resistance overhead. Perhaps interaction and a rejection off the 0.5 Fibonacci level, 989 Satoshi, is going to be what causes us to pull back to potential support there, the 200 daily and the 0.382. But ultimately, there are some some key levels we will have to kind of conquer here to kind of maintain the uptrend. At the moment, we're in a very volatile state. We have some rather significant technical bearish suggestions with this resistance overhead, but we do have a lot of fundamental buy pressure and an overall kind of bullish perspective, in my opinion. And as I mentioned, I do believe we are interacting currently with support under some very different conditions, and I do believe the volatility coming out of here is going to be very bullish for us in the kind of longer term. There's a lot going on for XLM against Bitcoin, looking very bullish at the moment. But if we were to consider now Bitcoin, against USDT. What do we have here? Price action. Experiencing that buy pressure. So I've suggested, as we were exhausting during this uptrend here, interacting with that 200 daily moving average, slapping us up and down. I suspected we could have had, a more prolonged correction and have interaction with the 0.618 Fibonacci level, $41,500. But that's what I get for being even a little bit bearish on Bitcoin, because the buy pressure is ever so abundant and present, and there is never a bad time to buy Bitcoin, only better times. So it's definitely very dangerous to be even a little bit bearish on Bitcoin with the kind of factors in play. Even though we are still under some very high technical sell pressure, the overall general demand for Bitcoin at these levels is just far too abundant to kind of be that bearish. So at the moment, the technical perspectives in play and the technical aspects at hand are going to be this current break upward through resistance found at $48,000 per Bitcoin. This is very significant for us, very bullish for us in the short, mid, and long term. At the moment, the key level of resistance, I do believe, that's going to give us a hard time next is going to be $51,700 per Bitcoin at the 0.786 Fibonacci level. That is likely to provide us some sell pressure and another kind of perhaps, phase of little accumulation here, some sideways for maybe a week or so before we see the euphoric current all-time highs around $64,000, and then the elusive $100,000 per Bitcoin. I do believe that is destined for us perhaps sooner than many might expect. With price action, well above this 200 daily moving average and potentially have found support off of it, we can likely get very bullish on Bitcoin again, and suspect the uptrend will likely continue, as this 200 daily moving average, I do believe, is a significant technical indicator for the overall direction of the trend or market. I do believe price action below it was a key factor in all of this very critical sell pressure and accumulation, but the overall fundamental bullishness of Bitcoin and the demand for something of its kind was kind of overall too abundant, and here we are recovering in a very bullish manner from that multi-month downside. So I suspect we will likely continue upward. A retest of 48K as support is going to be very bullish for us in the short term. That is likely where we will return to if we experience any kind of downside. However, I suspect we are likely to interact with 50,000 very soon here. Especially once we get above the 0.786 line, confirm that as support. All-time highs and then some are likely around the corner. So overall, very bullish. This phase of accumulation appears to be over. I hope you bought some of these dips. I hope you've been filling your bags as we appear to be trying to blast off. As I mentioned, overhead resistance at $51,700 per Bitcoin. But we will have to see just how bullish we can be. Overall, crypto market is on the up and up. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing my analysis. Try EngineeringRobo free with the link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube. Check out all the other social media down below. Let me know in the comment section. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What are you doing with your bag? If you have one, if you've been buying Bitcoin, buying XLM through all this downside, are we going to plow through previous all-time highs and set some new ones? Or are you bearish on price action? Are we in a bear market now? This is a fake out, upward, a bull trap. We're going to get slapped all the way straight to zero. Let me know your thoughts on the direction down in the comment section below. Thank you for tuning in, and tune in for the next one.